Just two dudes having a conversation. You're my friend and I trust you.
What a mashup.
Tweet us if you think you know what that mashup was. Because I bet you don't.
Oh, we're terrible.
It happens.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast, listeners.
This is a podcast called Back Row. No.
Ooh.
Oops. Sorry.
We are Back Row Radio.
We are Back Row Radio. Back Row Radio is a radio station that we are featured on. But we are the podcast. You are my friend and I trust you.
The podcast.
The podcast.
It's where we talk about whatever really comes to our mind.
Right. We hardly ever plan anything out. We've planned out a few episodes in the past. I discovered a cult that was looking for an audio-visual guy to work in their recording studio. And I discovered them on Indeed.com. I did we did a whole episode about that, but I wrote a whole thing on it because I just dove into it. I was so entranced by this cult.
You were very prepared in that episode.
Yes. But hardly ever do we prepare, do we plan ahead, as is the Pudge and Donnie way of life.
Basically. Yep. I try, but
yeah.
I also just happened to look over and
Nicolas Cage
pillow face is staring right at us.
Staring right at us. Which I feel comforting.
Yeah.
Comforted knowing that he's staring at us.
I'm a little offended though.
Why?
Because you didn't even notice or say anything.
That you cleaned up in here and it looks really great?
Yeah.
I was gonna say it. You didn't give me a chance.
Well.
So hold your jets, because I was about to say something about it. And it does look really great in here.
Yeah. Like
there's no clutter or anything.
Tidied up.
I feel like it's either going to make or break this podcast episode. Whether it's good or not.
Dependent upon this room.
Yeah. Because you have changed so much in here.
True.
And we were getting comfortable. And now things have changed, and I just don't know if it's going to make for a good episode or not.
I need to put all the clutter back.
If this is a bad episode, yeah. It's That's on fair. You.
I really want to get like a little sectional or something in here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There is a hilarious SNL sketch called Sectionals. It's like a TV commercial for sectionals, and it's just weird and trippy. Only problem is Louis C.K. is in it, and he's kind of been canceled.
Right.
But it's hilarious. It's like, it would be like a local TV ad, and this dude is like, sectionals. And it's just very weird, but it's awesome.
I love sectionals.
And he, there's A.D. Bryant is his wife, playing the character of his wife. And it was very obvious that she had convinced him to let her be in the commercial. And she is opera singing her lines. It's super hilarious. You should look it up.
I gotta sneeze.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I'm fighting it.
Just waiting for you to sneeze.
Yeah, it's not coming.
You know what you should do? Just take your hands, put them on the side of your face like this. Just go like this. Did that help?
No.
I didn't think it would. Just wanted to see you slap yourself.
So when can I check my notifications?
Okay. All right. So we were at worship team practice together, and I happened to glance over, saw a notification from Back Row on our Twitter. And you hadn't looked at them yet. So when we got done with practice, I said, don't look at the notifications until we start podcasting. So now
I'm pulling up.
The spoiler ban has been lifted.
I'm pulling it up. I'm trying to figure out where.
Try the first one, if you can.
One. This picture.
Yes.
Hey, at my friend podcast, what do you think of your first official Back Row? Oh, awesome. No way. He put kazoos in it.
That was my exact reaction.
No way.
So while Pudge is freaking out over there, Back Row Radio are very gracious, what do we call them? Host, I guess. We're featured on this online radio station called Back Row Radio. And the owner, general manager of this radio station, Matt, made us stickers. You're My Friend podcast stickers. And there are kazoos in them.
It's seriously amazing.
And guess what, buddy? He's sending us some.
I saw that.
I sent him my address because I didn't know yours, but I sent him mine. So he'll just send everything to me and then I'll give you yours.
Oh, this is awesome.
I know, right?
I'm retweeting this.
Do it.
Gotta be myself first.
Yeah.
Is he gonna sell these or what?
I don't know. If he does, though, we should get probably, I'm thinking 80% of the profits.
Easy
80.
I mean, we came up with the kazoos.
Right. We came up with the name.
The name. I mean, he did everything else, but
we'll hash it out. Email us, Matt. We'll figure this out.
That's awesome. That just made my night.
Right?
The kazoos is what really
I know.
just send it over the top.
But you know what I'm a little mad about is when we first got the kazoos, we got them because I had tweeted at Back Row saying, hey, Back Row, if we make a kazoo hymns album where it's classic hymns, but it's all kazoo, would you play it on the radio station? And he liked it on Twitter.
Yes.
So I bought kazoos, went ahead and bought kazoos. We recorded an album.
We did.
It's very short. It's just like minute and a half songs, like maybe 6 or 7 songs, hymns. And we sent it to Back Row. Haven't heard a thing from it.
Nothing.
Not a thing. Emailed it in. Haven't heard a single thing. So what the heck, Back Row? We do this special gift for you. And how do you repay us?
By ghosting us.
By ghosting us. I mean, you did just make us stickers, and that's very nice and sweet. But you ghosted us, Back Row. Matt, you ghosted us. Calling you out on the podcast.
That thing is going on the green bean.
Oh, the green bean. Yeah.
It's been a big day.
It's been a big day for Pudge and Donnie.
Yeah. We started our morning off.
Pudge and Donnie's big day.
Yeah. Going up to the big city of Akron.
Tell it like it's a children's story. Can you?
I don't know if I can. I don't know a whole lot of children's stories.
Okay, then never mind. Just tell it like a normal adult man.
Started off our day, headed up to the big city, Akron, because I was looking at a new car, new old car, new to me.
New to you.
A 1999 green and silver gray.
It is primarily green.
Yeah.
And then like the bottom, it has like bottom trim that is gray.
Yeah. 1999 Subaru Forester, which it's kind of an ugly car. It's a nice big old hatchback.
Mm-hmm.
But the wife and I were looking for something we can take camping, and it can pull a trailer, and it's all-wheel drive. So we went up and got it, and it's green. And Donnie came up with the genius nickname, the Green Bean.
The Green Bean.
So the new podcast sticker is going on the Green Bean.
Totally.
Yes.
really don't like to put stickers on my car
Yeah.
because it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's not nice. I don't get any ideas back, listeners. I'm not driving around like a Mercedes or anything, but it's the nicest car that I've owned.
Yeah.
And I don't like to muck up anything in the back,
Right.
like if I accidentally peel the paint or something. But there will be a sticker on this particular car. I can't not put that sticker on there.
I kind of want to use my wife's Cricut to make the green bean, just a very small window decal.
Green bean.
Yeah.
Explain to everyone what a Cricut is, because I just found out today what a Cricut is.
Yeah.
It's not what you're thinking. It's not a thing.
Yeah, it's not an insect.
Not an insect.
No, I got my wife a Cricut, which is like Donnie put it makes sense. It's like a little CNC machine almost, in that there's a software that you use where you can make like lettering or whatever. You can cut vinyl with it. You can print. It's got like marker things you put in it, and then it'll write on cardstock or wood, whatever you might want. But it's like, it looks like a little printer, but it's not a printer. It's a cutter.
Mm-hmm.
So I got that for my wife, and she's going to start making t-shirts. And, but you can also make decals and stickers.
I'm really stoked about the decals.
Yeah. So I want to make the green bean sticker, like not
Nice.
big, just like little like corner window.
Could you do like the green bean and then maybe like above that have like a little green bean?
Yeah, you can. And I'm totally going to.
That'd be so sick.
Yeah.
Can you do color with this?
You can. It just depends on the material you buy.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I feel totally honored that you went with my name.
When you said it, I was like, oh yeah, the green bean.
It makes total sense.
Yeah.
What were some names that we kicked around? It's a Forester.
So we thought Forest.
Forrest the
Forrest
Forester.
Gump.
Yeah.
Um,
I forget what else I said. I said like another name.
that had green.
Torrance. Torrance the Forester. Doesn't flow like I thought it would.
Yeah.
But the green
The
bean.
green bean was the best one. I never did come up with a nickname for my other car.
Really?
That Donnie got to drive for the first time today.
Yeah, it's like driving a weed eater.
It's fun.
It
Like,
sounds and it has the pick me up that you imagine a weed eater would have.
Yep.
If you were to put a weed eater engine in a car.
So,
It's just like wah, and it has no get up and go at all. But it's a fun car to drive.
yeah.
I don't mind it.
So I have to tell an embarrassing story that Donnie already knows. So for our faithful followers, faithful listeners, you probably remember a day way back when Donnie had a parody account of Jesse Duplantis,
Yeah.
who is a televangelist.
Mhm.
He's the fella, if you don't know, who wanted people, or he was believing in God for how many millions of dollars?
$53 million private jet for him
Yes.
to fly around to his talkings.
Because his current jet was not good enough because he couldn't make it all the way around the world
In one go.
in one go. He had to stop.
But let the record state that this jet would have been his fifth
Yes.
because he was burning them up for the Lord.
Direct quote.
Direct quote.
So Donnie, it was hilarious.
Real sleaze bag, this guy.
Yeah. Created a parody account on Twitter and started tweeting as Jesse Duplantis.
I had some pretty hilarious tweets. I think the one, because I got suspended on Twitter because I didn't put that it was a parody account,
Yeah.
which if you're a parody account, you have to have that stated in your bio very clearly, and I did not. So people thought that I was actually him. And what was the one that got the most traction?
Was it about your pleats or something?
More butts in the seats equals more money in my pleats?
Was it that one?
No, it was the one about the Mercedes. That one got some traction though, but I don't want to spend the time to find it. But it was something about like, you bet your buttons if Jesus was around today, his disciples would have all been driving Mercedes or something, just the way the Lord intended.
Yeah.
Hashtag cherished and chosen.
Yeah. And that was the one that got liked by the dude from Bad Christian Podcast.
Toby Morrell and
Yeah.
From Emory.
But so anyway, Donnie had this account. He used all these funny hashtags, like he just said.
Hashtag cherished and chosen.
So fast forward a year, and if any of you have ever led worship, you know sometimes like you get distracted. So a couple weeks ago, was it Easter?
Yeah.
I think it was on Easter.
Yeah.
So one of the bigger Sundays. I was praying, and there was a noise in the sanctuary that distracted me while I was praying. And so then I was like focusing on the noise and then couldn't figure out what to say. And so your mind just automatically kind of goes back to like what you've heard before and what would make sense in the time. And so as I'm praying, I hear this noise, I'm distracted, and I said, God, we're just so thankful that, we're cherished and chosen by you. And as soon as I said it, I was like, crap. I just used one of Donnie's
Sarcastic
hashtags in a prayer. And like, I started smiling as soon as I said it. And I had to just like end the prayer right there. But as soon as we got off stage, I was like,
Oh, it made my day so much. I didn't know because we forgot to talk about it.
Yeah.
Easter has been come and gone now. It was like a month ago.
Coming up on a month, yeah.
And I completely forgot about it. You completely forgot about it till today. So we never addressed it. But as soon as you said that, I like looked over at you and was just dying. I was so proud. I was so proud of you in that moment. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I've been working out.
Dude,
doing cardio.
I haven't been doing that, but the other day I threw baseball for, 25 minutes.
With who?
Corey.
I'm jealous.
Yeah. And so I threw baseball, and then that night, Allie took me to the batting cage.
Oh.
Yeah. Which,
I can see that.
yeah, so much better than it was. And my
Nasty little
hand.
blister on your palm there.
Yeah, where the butt of the bat.
Did you use gloves?
No.
That was your mistake.
Yeah. And I used the bat that was at the cage that had no anything on it.
Yeah. Just a whole bunch of kid spit and snot.
So my right shoulder is it's just like so sore from throwing.
Yeah.
And then my left shoulder is so sore from the swing.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like an old man.
Nice.
27.
I'm so sorry.
27 going on dying.
Never heard that. That's funny though. So I have to have a little shout out here.
Okay.
To Carol.
Care Bear.
Who is a real person.
Yes, she is.
If you don't know who Carol is, we talk about her all the time on this podcast. She's kind of our fact checker. She's not on payroll or anything, but she is basically our full-time fact checker. She's always fact checking us.
Yes.
And in the past episode, excuse me, I'm burpy. We had a chicken Caesar wraps before we started podcasting.
It's giving me the burps.
Yeah, it'll do that too. But in the previous episode, I had talked about how, like, I'm trying to kind of take control of my life a little bit. Not that my life is spiraling out of control. I'm not addicted to crack cocaine or anything, but
Crack cocaine.
Crack cocaine.
Crack cocaine's not funny, but
The way that you can say it though is funny. Crack cocaine.
crack cocaine.
If you're addicted to crack cocaine, I'm so sorry. Seek help. But I'm trying to get in shape. I've been ridiculously out of shape past few years. Real wake me up was walking up a flight of stairs in Nashville and about having a heart attack and just being very winded, and heart was racing, and it wasn't that many stairs. I said it was a ton, but it really wasn't. I'll own up to that. But I've been listening to a lot of motivational stuff recently, like motivational stuff on Spotify. Look it up. There's tons of good playlists. But one of the main things I'm trying to do is just get in better shape. And I've been trying to go to the gym and do cardio, because normally if I go to the gym, I just lift weights and don't do any sort of cardio at all. I've always avoided cardio. But I found that I actually kind of enjoy the stationary bike, because I got super bad knees and that's low impact. So I can still get a really good sweat on really quick. And I've been feeling really good this past week. Like, I've noticed my anxiety has been a lot better. And I think that has a lot to do with me working out and getting in better shape and trying to eat healthier. I've been trying to eat healthy for a year now, and it's slow going, but doing more smoothies and more like chicken wraps and doing meal prep and stuff. But Carol texted me after listening to last week's podcast where I said I was having a hard time. Like, I'm motivated at this point. I'm motivated, but I'm having a hard time developing the discipline of just like doing it, you know? And she said, I'm listening to the podcast. May I offer you 2 things that have helped me hugely in forming new habits? And I said, yes, please. And just that right there, I think is a really good thing to do. Like, she definitely didn't have to do that. I would have been super grateful for whatever she had to say. But when touching on stuff like this, I think it's just a nice formality thing to do, of being like, hey, I have some advice on this thing that you're dealing with. Would you mind if I give you that advice? Right. I think that speaks a lot to Carol and how awesome of a person she is. Yeah. Then she said, I lied. 3 things. So I'm just going to read all of these 3 things. It's kind of long, but we'll do like each one at a time. Okay. Maybe talk about it a little bit if we can. She said, pick one habit at a time. It's easier to focus and easier to win. Sometimes people talk about a keystone habit, which is just basically a habit that makes it easier to start and keep other habits. It can take a little experimentation to figure out yours. Mine is exercise. If I work out, everything else comes easier. When you feel super solid in the keystone habit, try something else. If you lose focus and stop doing anything, go back to your one habit and start over from there. So there are multiple things in my life that I'm trying to kind of take over right now, like getting to bed earlier, getting out of bed earlier, and not at 9 or 10 o'clock. Shame on me for that.
I do the same thing.
And eating better, exercising more, right? So I'm trying to do all those things. And something that I mentioned to Carol later on in this conversation was, with all this motivational stuff, it just seems like just do. Like, you have all your goals, you have all your ideas of where you want to be. Just do it. You just got to do it. I talked about that shark mentality. If you can't go back, can't stop swimming, you just got to And I think that sets you up for even bigger failure. When you put all that stress on yourself that I just have to succeed in everything right now, and if I don't, it's because I'm not good enough. Right. And I'm just failing. I think that just puts too much weight on you. So I love that first piece of advice from Carol, of just develop that one keystone habit and work on that. Number 2, and this goes into that keystone habit of starting that keystone habit, make really easy goals. My exercise goal is to work out 4 times a week for 15 minutes. The end. My deal with myself is that I have to work out for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, if after 15 minutes I still hate life and everyone I've ever met, I get to quit. This almost, which, you know, Carol. Yeah. That's a very Carol statement. This almost never happens, maybe 3 times in 5 years. I almost always work out longer and almost every day, but I am still allowed to quit after 15 minutes if I want to. And I still have a goal of 15 minutes 4 times a week. If I do at least that, I am a success.
That's good.
That is really good, especially for exercise.
Yeah, because like normally you're like, well, I need to work out 30 minutes, you know, in cardio, and then I need to do this, this, and this. And then if you don't, or like if it seems like you're struggling already, and then you know, well, I have to do this, I'm not going to be able to do it, so I'm just not going to do it. Whereas that, it's like 15 minutes. What's 15 minutes, you know? Right. And then once you are doing it, what's another 15 minutes? Right. Because getting back into working out previously, I always set way too high of a bar for myself. Like, I have to work out, I would say an hour.
I would say if I'm not working out at least an hour, then I'm not working out.
Yeah.
But that would make me not want to work out because I would do that once and just be completely spent for like a week, you know? So then I wouldn't work out for a week, and then it's even harder to get back into it then.
Right.
So then I wouldn't work out. But 15 minutes I've found these past couple weeks, even like I'll try to do a half hour just on the bike, which is pretty easy because I'll break it up into like 5 minutes with like a minute break in between, doing different intensities. So you can bust through 15 minutes to half an hour really quickly doing that.
Yeah.
Or really easily, it seems. And even that is tons better than doing nothing.
Yeah, for sure.
At all. And I think I'm already seeing the benefits of it, like mentally, like mental health wise. This last one, I'll go ahead and read it. Floss one tooth. It's a weird saying that some guy made up, but it basically means the habit is more important than any one instance. If you have decided to floss your teeth and you are in bed almost asleep and remember you haven't, get your butt up and floss one tooth. Just one. Another way I say this is a short, crappy workout is better than none. It helps me avoid the perfectionism trap that we just talked about. I can't work out for an hour, so why go? Everything we just talked about. So
Carol dropping the wisdom bombs.
Dropping the wisdom bombs. Gotta shout out Carol, and I will thank you on the podcast in front of God and everyone. Thank you just for that little bit of help and wisdom. I really appreciate that. So
Carol's pretty okay.
She's pretty okay. I forget who I told, but I think it was the Eberts, my girlfriend's parents, that we should just have her as a paid producer on this podcast. And but her job is to just fact check us.
Yes.
She sits over there. And when we say something dumb, wrong.
Should be good at it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So you got a little bit of life news.
I have some life news.
Yeah. You don't want to get into it too much at this point.
Yes, but scratch the surface of it.
Yeah.
Can I get a kazoo roll, please?
Ooh, okay.
That's actually way more solid than I expected.
I can only do it for so long.
You don't have the lung capacity yet. So, I am going to be leaving my job.
Being a hobo?
Being a hobo.
Man.
No. As a worship minister. I'm not going to leave until I have something else lined up yet, but that is going, at this point, has been announced to our church on the Sunday previous. And I'm going to be transitioning out of full-time ministry. After 5.5 years.
Yeah. That's a journey coming to an end.
Yeah. It's been good.
Yeah.
But, a lot of different reasons. Big thing is 5.5 years ago was in a lot different life stage.
You were unmarried?
Unmarried. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. This opportunity came open, so I did it. Which, I don't know. I don't consider myself a sketchy or not sketchy, flaky person, but that's kind of how I live. Like, if something comes up that sounds interesting, I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
But since then, got married, and life has changed, and kind of goals and what I'm, passionate about has changed, and learned that full-time ministry is not something that I want to do for a long time. And so, and also found that it's very hard to find a job when you have to be sneaky about it, when no one knows that you're looking.
Because you informed your church, what was it, 2 months ago?
Yeah, I think it was like mid to late February.
Yeah. And I've known the whole time. I would just like to throw that out there that I knew the whole time, but I kept it a secret. Good on me.
Yeah. So I love the team. It was hard telling. At this point, when we're of recording,
Mhm.
I've just told our worship team
Mhm.
that I'm going to be leaving.
Mhm.
And so the first service team, who they play like every week and have been around since I've been there and before, was hard.
Mhm.
But for the most part, they've all understood.
Yeah, I've seen you get a lot of support for it and a lot of understanding.
Yeah, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
So you never really know how. I was talking to my worship assistant, because she knows now too. But I was telling her how even though I haven't been in this situation personally, like I've been old enough when my dad has left the church
Mhm.
to kind of know how like some people react,
Mhm.
and sometimes they don't react like you expect them to. And they get mad,
Mhm.
just because I guess it's so like church is such a personal thing.
Yeah.
And it's really nothing personal at all, with the people that I, lead and whatnot. And I like leading worship, but that's something I can do as a volunteer and kind of do a career, aside from that.
Mhm.
So don't really know what's next, which is scary. But the church doesn't really want me to leave. So they are like, hey, you can stay full time as long as you can.
Mhm.
And so as long as until I find something else, I'll stay full time at the church. And
Which is, I think that's pretty cool of them.
yeah,
to let
for
you do
sure.
that.
Yeah, they've been super gracious about it. I mean, they could have just been like, all right, well, you're not in it, so
Yeah.
you can leave now.
Right.
But I wanted to tell them, I wanted to give them plenty of notice, even though I didn't know what was next, just because I know how hard it is to find a worship minister.
Mhm.
They had looked for a year before they hired me.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to make that as easy as possible. I think I would like to eventually get into IT.
Mhm.
I like computers and tech and whatnot. And right now, in my position, I don't have the time to like go back and do any schooling if I would want to. And so,
Mhm.
even if whatever job I go to next is just kind of that stepping stone job to be able to do that, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And it'll be really nice to have some weekends off with my wife, which
Yeah.
we have never had. So
I think that's not the toughest, but one of the more tougher things of ministry is that it's not a job that you clock out of
right.
ever. And you're just kind of always on call. And your schedule is just all the time.
Yeah.
Like you're working basically like you have Saturdays off. That's about it.
Yeah.
And like a little bit Sunday, but you're working Sunday.
Right.
And like you can't really enjoy your Saturday because the next day is a work day.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah. Like Saturday at about 2:30 to 3 o'clock,
Mhm.
I start thinking about Sunday.
Yeah.
And then Saturday night, I don't sleep.
Yep.
So that'll be nice to just be able to relax. And like my vacation time doesn't really work with Allie's, in that most people can really extend their vacation time because they can build it around weekends. And if I want a weekend off, I have to use vacation time where Allie doesn't. And so we burn through vacation, and I have limited amount of Sundays I can have off anyway.
Plus, you have to schedule somebody to lead in your place.
Right.
It's a whole thing in and of itself.
Yeah, it's a big headache. So it'll be nice just to be able to do some stuff. And like Allie was saying, she's like, she's anxiously excited about basically knowing me not as a worship minister.
Yeah.
She's not that I feel like you're two different people, but she's never known me like you've known me since before I've done this. And like, I don't think you would say I'm a drastically different person.
Abusive.
Abuse isn't funny.
Make me sound like a horrible person. It's comedy.
Yes. Yes.
But I am joking.
Yeah.
Abuse is not funny.
No. But yeah, like I'm not a drastically different person, but she just doesn't know me like that.
Right.
So yeah, we've already like kind of have some plans cooking about getting away this summer.
Mhm.
And it's a time of life too where we don't have kids.
Enjoy that.
Yeah. And like that's not going to be forever.
Mhm.
And yeah. And I don't want to sound like I am just doing whatever I want. But this has definitely been like something I've been in prayer about.
Mhm.
And I feel like just what I feel like I'm passionate about is not leading a church.
Mhm.
I like supporting that, like in playing in the band or something,
Mhm.
but being that guy, and it's not fair for me to take that seat, and hold the overall growth back of someone who has fresh ideas and can take the next step.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm at peace about it. I feel a lot better. Technically, this isn't fully out yet, so I can't say I feel great right now, but I will feel come Monday a lot better about everybody knowing,
Yeah.
and I can talk to different people about different jobs.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Right.
please.
I think we're recording this on Thursday, and then this Sunday, the church is announcing it.
Mhm.
But I think that we have a lot of like pretty well connected people
Mhm.
within the church, or people that could help you with your job search.
For sure.
Because I've watched you for the past couple months, like job hunt, kind of in secret. Trying not to like spread the news,
Right.
And I don't know. I just feel like your options are limited.
Yeah.
Because you have this awesome network of people around you, and
I can't.
tap into it.
Yeah, exactly. And like everything that I've interviewed for basically has been a good distance away that I don't want to commute to.
Yeah.
Like I've had a few job offers, but they've been a good commute or just not quite what I was looking for,
Yeah.
being on second shift or something like that.
But you don't want that. You
No.
don't want an off shift.
Yeah, I would do third if I had to. I would do third over second, but first is what I want. And
Yeah.
so,
My advice to you would be to not take a third shift position,
yeah,
especially if you want more time with Allie.
yeah,
But what it did to me, I would not want that for you.
Yeah.
And just, I couldn't imagine doing that while being married to somebody that is working a first shift schedule,
yeah,
because you're just completely backwards. And like I was dating Emily while working third shift at the beginning of our relationship.
yeah,
And I would wake up after not sleeping well, because you're trying to sleep during the day. And like, no matter how much you black out your windows, there's just something about it
Mhm.
that like you wake up and you're instantly awake and you can't fall back to sleep. At least that's the way it was for me. I know some people that can do it no problem, but wake up, be all tired, go to her house so I can see her before she goes to bed and before I have to go to work, and be tired the whole time, be like dreading work because I have to go to work after that.
Mhm.
And it sucks. It sucks a whole bunch.
yeah,
So I would really encourage you not to take a third shift position,
yeah,
because it's not glamorous
yeah,
in any way.
yeah. So anyway, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
And yeah,
What kind of, I guess IT would be your primary goal, but for those listening that might have a connection for you, what sort of stuff are you looking for at this point?
I mean, a little bit of everything, I guess. Like I've interviewed for a inside sales rep job that I found really interesting. I don't have like necessarily experience titled customer service, but working in a church,
Mhm.
I deal with people. That's
Right.
customer service. And so I think that relates well. My other experience would be like shipping, receiving, which I can do.
Mhm.
I also wouldn't mind getting into driving. I like to drive.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice. I will say that I think the percentage is like 90. Don't quote me. Carol, fact check me on this. But I think the percentage is like 90 of people that are not in the careers that they went to college for
Yeah.
with a degree.
So
So,
my wife's one of them.
yeah. So if you think you're not qualified for a position and you are discouraged from even applying because you're like, oh, I don't have the go for it anyway because you never know.
Yeah.
And I mean, pretty much anything you can figure it out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Unless you're a doctor, you can't really figure out how to be a doctor. I couldn't fake
Google
that.
Right.
I couldn't fake that till I make it, but I think I could fake till I make just about anything.
Yeah. Well, that's my whole job
as long
now.
as no math is involved.
Yeah. My whole job now is that way. Like I had no experience going into it.
You were young. How young were you when you started that? Were you my age? Were you 23?
Yeah. When I started full time. Started part time at 21.
Wow. And you just kind of like fell into that because you had a connection via your dad to that church.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, hey, we need somebody to lead worship. And I remember I was playing at Ripley and I was really bummed that you left. And I kept hoping that you would come back and you never did.
Yeah.
But it started off as like the part-time thing. And you were paid at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So part-time paid, but like very part-time and then a little bit more and then a little bit more than full-time.
Mm-hmm. After about a year or so.
Yeah.
Year and some change.
Yeah. And it wasn't supposed to be that way. You're supposed to just be interim.
Right. Yep. And that's actually, I wrote a letter to the church that will go out. Well, at this point, have gone out. But that's kind of how I started it was, basically one day about 5.5 years ago, I got a text out of the blue from my dad. Oh, I think what he said was, be praying how God's going to use you. And I thought, this is odd. Not that like my dad would say that, but just like the timing, it was seriously just out of the blue.
Yeah.
And then that night, Mulpus called me about coming. And so I came to fill in. It was like 6 months off the bat. I was going to fill in for 6 months and it turned into 5.5 years.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things too, is like, this wasn't necessarily my plan anyway of doing this. Yeah. Even when I went to Bible college, worship ministry was never a nugget in my brain. I can definitely see like how I think God kind of set things up for me to come and like definitely the things that we've done since then has definitely been a God thing and that's cool.
Met your wife through that.
Yeah, exactly. That, in the letter, actually, I do say that. I say that's the greatest gift I got here.
Yeah, if that's the best, if that's the only good thing to come out of that, which I know it's not, but if that was, I would say that's worth it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
She, not that.
Yes, she. So yeah, lots of stuff coming.
Yeah.
A lot of life change that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll dive into this topic probably within the coming weeks as stuff gets more out there, and then once you eventually transition completely out, we'll dive into it a little bit more as well.
Yeah.
Get down to like the nitty gritty and talk about all the bad stuff.
Business to
defeat the
nuns.
Oh, defeat nuns. If you
send me daughter.
If you were this is a question that I saw online. If you were in a field and you had a baseball bat and there were a numberless horde of 10-year-olds wearing bicycle helmets, how many do you think you could take out before you would be overwhelmed?
Like they're attacking me?
They're coming after you, but all they have is bicycle helmets, but they're 10. And you have a baseball bat.
They're like going to come kill me.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know why I was knocking.
Yeah. They're coming after you.
I don't know. Good question.
Like you against an entire army.
With just a baseball bat.
With just a baseball bat.
Probably wouldn't be that many, actually.
Really? Before you're overwhelmed?
Yeah. If there's like an entire army.
But they're 10.
Yeah, but like I can only hit basically one at a time.
Right. But you can also like kick a few away. Whack, whack.
I don't know.
Kick some away.
I'd probably run out of breath.
Get winded?
Yep.
That would do it.
All right, I'm done.
I saw that online, and that question was asked to the dude from AP Bio and from It's Always Sunny, Glenn Howardson or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
And he was like, all of them. Without a doubt, they're 10, all of them.
All of them.
Which I want to say that too.
Yeah.
Is I would get at least If it was 1,000 10-year-olds, I'm saying I'm getting 500. 500 of those guys before I'm overwhelmed.
Batting 500.
Yeah, batting 500.
Hall of Fame numbers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I miss baseball, dude.
Me too. I really do. I want to coach or do something.
We were in the kitchen eating a little supper before we started podcasting. And I guess it's no secret at this point to people in my life that I might be maybe proposing soon.
Maybe.
Maybe
not.
Maybe not, though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, if you're listening, I wouldn't get your hopes up.
No.
Wouldn't get them up. But maybe possibly might be transitioning into that phase of life. Not a phase.
That one day I'll transition out of.
Just like my emo phase, it'll come and go. But that time of life, I might be maybe transitioning into maybe soon. But we were talking earlier. Apparently, Emily and Allie were talking, and Emily said something about like the time frame of when she wants to have kids, and then your guys' time frame. And apparently, my time frame of when I'm expected to have kids is before yours.
I love how it's just like, apparently.
To which I said, no. We're having kids at the exact same time. Because
we have plans.
We have so many plans. We're going to coach baseball together.
Yes.
Our kids are going to be on the same team.
Or opposing
teams, and we're really going to get into it. We're going to have ourselves a few spats on the field.
But it'll stay on the field.
It'll stay. Oh, for sure.
We won't bring that home.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
We're going to be neighbors as well.
Right.
So we can't bring it home.
No. Who wants a neighborly spat?
But just imagine the two of us yelling at each other, sunflower seeds flying out of our mouths. We're turning our hats around backwards.
Our kids super embarrassed.
Veins popping out of our necks.
Sweaty.
Just gross. But we have ourselves a healthy spat.
Yes.
On the field. Probably about something your kid did to mine, but we'll...
Like beat him up or something.
Well, probably not, but I mean, if anything, I think my kid's going to beat up your kid, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yes.
But I told Allie, no. We are having kids at the same time because we have plans.
Yes.
For our children that they're not going to have a choice over.
No, they're going to get married.
Yeah. They're going to get married. I'm going to have a girl. You're going to have a boy.
Yes.
They're going to get married. And then we plan on being bald and hugging each other and crying at their wedding.
Yes.
I would prefer not to be bald, but for some reason, every time I picture it, both of us are just bald. Completely shaved, though.
Yes, I'm not
Because if I start to thin or anything,
it's going.
It's going away.
And I'm growing a huge beard.
Same.
Yep.
Same.
Yep. So two bald, heavily bearded men.
Sobbing openly as our kids get married to each other.
Yes.
Can you imagine anything more beautiful?
No.
Allie
wasn't so sure. She gave you pushback about timing the pregnancies.
Right, which I said that we will make sure that it is timed up.
Yes.
We'll have a secret letter exchange, like written down via mail letter of when we need to be trying for kids.
When we are procreating.
That way it's at the exact same time.
That only Donnie and I will really know.
Right. We're not going to share this with anybody.
It'll be in code.
Oh, that's what we need to do.
Yes.
Let's find a cereal box, if they still do this. I don't know if they do it, but with the decoder rings.
Yes.
And we'll each get a decoder ring, and we'll keep it hidden. We'll keep it around our necks on a chain, and no one else can touch it. And we'll write out a secret code of when is the best time to try for kids with our wives.
And they have no idea.
They have no idea. Can you imagine? We're side by side hospital rooms. Oh, can you even imagine that?
I can't.
This has to happen.
It does.
It has to happen.
It will.
It will. We have to speak it into existence.
We're cherished and chosen. We're speaking this.
Cherished and chosen. We will have kids on the exact same hour, exact same day,
I will push that head back in.
as I would for you.
Our wives would kill us.
I'm going to get punched just for this conversation. I'm going to get slugged in the nose. So I'm sorry. It's satire, though. It's a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Totally a joke.
Yep. We're joking.
Didn't mean it.
Just joshing you.
For some reason, Emily really hates that saying. Just joshing you. She hates it.
That's good to know. I'll work that in.
Work that into conversation.
Yep.
Do it real slyly, though, so she doesn't notice.
Yes, I will.
My stomach hurts from chuckling.
Yeah, mine too. Should we wrap this out?
Yep. Whose turn is it to?
I turned to kazoo.
Oh, you know. Good for you.
I do.
Do you enjoy the kazooing more or the outroing more?
I enjoy the kazooing more
I think I do too.
because I don't have to like think about
Right.
what to say. I just have to think about what I'm going to play.
Ah, I see what you did there.
Mm.
Little rhyme.
Mhm.
Little rhyme scheme. Well, faithful listeners, we want to thank you so much for listening to the Back Row Radio. Nope. Gosh dang it. Why am I on that? We're My Friend Podcast. We're on Back Row Radio. We want to thank you so much for listening to the You're My Friend podcast, featured on Back Row Radio on the Back Row Radio app. You can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts. Basically anywhere you would want to listen to a podcast, there we are. Sultry sounds and sibilance right in your ear canals. You can find us at My Friend Podcast at twitter.com. Or please, 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 I beg you, write to us at I Trust You Podcast at gmail.com. I am literally begging you.
Should we get a P.O. box?
Oh, totally. Soon to come, a P.O. box. We don't know what it will be. Are those free?
I think there's like a small yearly rental.
Carol, what's the rental of a P.O. box? Soon we'll have a P.O. box. You can send us lovely trinkets or globs and wads of money. Preferably money. That's what we would like the most. But please, until then, email us at itrustyoupodcast at gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. We'll feature you on the podcast. Ask us questions. We're desperate for content. We'll take anything. Also, we have a campaign going. The You're My Friend and I Trust You 5K for Compassion. What that is, Pudge and I, if we raise $500 for this wonderful Christian organization called Compassion International, we will run in a 5K. They help widows and orphans around the world in providing them essential needs, food, shelter, other things as well. They also dig wells for people who live far away from a clean water supply, and we are super passionate about that sort of stuff. Both of us have talked about wanting to go on well digging missions trips, and we would love to do that. Maybe we will in the future, maybe we won't. But if we get $500 donated to Compassion International via the link found in the description for this podcast, Pudge and I will run in a 5K. We'll write every donor's names on our shoes as we run, and then maybe one lucky donor will get, actually 4 lucky donors will get a shoe. That's a new thing that I've come up with just now. You will get a run-in shoe from either Pudge or I if you donate to this podcast. Also, we have some new donors. We want to thank Matt. Actually, the very same Matt from Back Road donated some money. Thank you, Matt. Also, Chris. Thank you, Matt and Chris, for your donations. It means a ton. Here's the thing, though. We're closing the campaign at the beginning of June. After that, it's done. It's over. All proceeds will be given to Compassion, and we will not run the 5K because we did not raise $500. Okay, that's enough of that. I've talked enough about that for today. But thank you, listeners, for listening. We love you. Please listen again in the future. Please write us at itrustyoupodcast@gmail.com. I'll say that again because we're desperate for content. Give us questions. Give us answers and we'll come up with the questions. But only on You're My Friend and I Trust You, a podcast you can trust.
Just two dudes having a conversation. You're my friend and I trust you.